Well then, welcome to the Redmen TV and the player ranking show. And yes, obviously, somber Liverpool, unfortunately, losing again, this time the worst of losses, at home to Manchester United. I'm Ste and I'm very, very, very sad for Errol, who had to watch that on his birthday. But Errol's with me to try and dissect some of that. Feeling sorry for the big man, but we're going to do our best. We're going to power through and we're going to try and dissect what was just a mad game. How the show works, for those of you who are new, you guys have been voting on the Liverpool players' performances from this game. They can be ranked from anywhere as boss, which played well. You've got sound, you've got decent, and then you've got your Messen, which means that they were rubbish. And Errol, I'm going to come to you first. I had a little quick scan of the votes before we went live. And by relatively a considerable distance, really, the worst player as voted for by about 1,000 Liverpool supporters so far on socials, it was Mo Salah. If you keep hold of that for a sec, we're going to place him, Errol, on the Messen. You go ahead and place him in there now. Go and put him in. You go and get him in. I don't think Mo can argue, really. Just again, missing chances, giving the ball away. This Mo Salah, it looks like he's been space jammed from last year's Mo Salah, Errol. And yeah, I mean, the question is now, we were getting asked this all throughout the watch along, so I'll ask you this, and I'm sorry to put on your toes a little bit, but that's what we're here for. Is it time to put Mo Salah on the bench?
In a word, yeah. I know we've got the luxury of going, it might not even feel like a luxury, but we've got the opportunity midweek to obviously do a little bit of rotation naturally anyway. The Frankfurt game could provide us with that, a little glimpse of what life after Salah could potentially look like in this Liverpool attack. The big question is who comes in to replace him in terms of minutes, in terms of fitness, in terms of overall quality. What options do Liverpool really have on that right-hand side? Let us know in the comments what you think or what options you would go with if you are going to put Mohamed Salah on the bench, at least for a game in midweek. But look, let's just kind of be very clear. This is going to be a very average or below average rankings. So if you've come here for therapy and if you've come here for us to put an arm around you, that's not going to happen. I'm just going to call it how I see it. At this moment in time, Mohamed Salah is a shadow of his former self. He is not delivering on the pitch. We spoke earlier in the show about the lack of tracking back from him. You can excuse it when he's giving you the level of output which he did last season, and that was phenomenal. It was fantastic. It helped spearhead Liverpool's title charge, so you can't take anything away from him in those moments. But this season, it's been a complete role reversal. He's not had the good fortune in front of goal. The chances that he is getting in front of goal, he's shanking them wide. He's not getting them on target. His decision making, some of his touches, the passing, even when we're trying to force our way of getting Mohamed Salah into the game more, so he's more involved in the overall play, build-up play, all of that stuff at the moment, it's just fallen short because he's not doing the basic fundamentals. And at the moment, it is costing Liverpool in a big way because so many times he has been the go-to guy to bail Liverpool out of the shit. And at this moment in time, as you said, he's been space jammed. He's got none of those powers. He has none of that ability to be able to provide Liverpool with an outlet, to provide Liverpool with any real quality on the ball at the moment. And I don't know where to start with him. And I don't want to give too many excuses as to why his head might not be in the right place. But in terms of when you put that shirt on and you go and take to the pitch, especially at home, there's got to be a level. There's got to be a base level of the performance that you put in. And at this moment in time, for me, it is just so far below standard. The quality is just completely just a nosedive off a cliff. I'm just gutted. Do you know what? It's mad because I don't know whether this is like the beginning and the end for Salah or he's just going through a little bit of a blip. I hope it is the latter. But it's just so sad to see somebody who's been so good, so consistent for so many years going out like this, because this is sad. This is not the way that a player of this magnitude with this much legacy at Liverpool Football Club should be going out from here to now to the end of the season. It shouldn't be a difficult slog for Mohamed Salah. He should eventually find a way to pick up that form. But as it stands, I'm clutching at straws trying to find justifications or reason or any real logic as to how we get the best of Salah again. And I just don't know if we're going to see it in this current version or this current form of what this Liverpool side are going to do. I think you're going to have to balance what's what matters more, getting the best out of Mohamed Salah as an individual and hoping that Liverpool as a byproduct benefit with more results and get, compete and more competitive? Or do we have to start thinking about the greater good of the team? And of the team now, the most important thing, is it trying to get more players in this side with the quality that we've got, with the additions that we brought in the summer? Is it time to now put some of the focus onto these players, not necessarily bed them in, but really just lay down the marker that this is now the future. This is what the future blueprint looks like. And Salah has to, at some point, accept that he's going to play a less of an important and significant role in this Liverpool team going forward. Because for me, I'm out of answers. I'm out of defences. Mo, that was just a no for me. I'm sorry.
It's one of them, Errol, unfortunately, mate, where, again, this isn't us saying Mo Salah's finished. And by the way, he might be. I hope he's not. But who knows? We've
seen it though. When the legs go, the legs just go, and it can happen like that. One minute you think they're great, and then the next minute they come back from a period of time away from the game for whatever circumstances, international breaks. It could be the pre-season, and they just come back and they're just not the same player anymore. And it's starting to, as each game goes on and every kick in the ball moment happens, it's starting to look more and more like that where Mohamed Salah is concerned, and I am fucking worried, mate.
It's one of them, Errol, as well, where, like I say, we don't know where the future holds. You might be right. We'll find out in due course. I think the point you made earlier is one I'd like to echo a little bit really, and that if you're going to have a player like Mohamed Salah who you're going to compensate for, and that's fine, by the way, if you're scoring goals and you're making assists and you're playing well, the other players will be like, I'll do his running for him, I'll do his tracking back, I'll do his tackling, I'll do all this kind of thing for him. But when he's effectively getting a couple of touches in and around the box, when he's in there, I mean, the one that sums up for me is that volleyed shot, which goes miles wide, and that just isn't what we're used to from Mohamed Salah. Listen, he's always missed chances, every forward misses chances. He just looks so devoid of confidence, and the reason I ask about the benching him is twofold. Liverpool, at this moment in time, aren't playing well, and something's got to change. And again, I go back to it, defensively, they're a big mess as well, and we will touch upon that, of course. This is just focusing on the attack for now. Chances are still getting created, but chances are getting missed. But it feels like Liverpool are doing that maybe a little bit in spite of Mo Salah, and also for him, maybe just a little bit of time out, 1 or 2 games where he maybe just needs that little refresh. Mo Salah, I often think, is at his best when he's got a point to prove, and maybe that is as well. Last year comes when he's really, really striving for this contract, and there's disputes behind the scenes. Is he going to get it? Is he not? And that comes. And sometimes when you have a little go at Mo Salah, you might provoke a reaction. I'll be honest, I'm struggling really to think who would play there. Frimpong looked better in 10 minutes than Salah did all game. I'd say that for a start. Maybe Chiesa can go over there. So there's lads who are viable options. But yeah, I'm with you, mate, at this moment in time, unfortunately. I think Mo Salah, I've said this millions of times probably on this show, probably too many times to mention, I think he's the best Liverpool player of all time. I think football these days, the intensity is so difficult to do what he's doing compared to all the legends in the past. I think it's more difficult for players these days. That's my rationale. People will agree, people won't. But right now, he's a shadow of himself. You mentioned that before. I think you're summing that up really well. And I'm not surprised people put him down as you're messing. So I think, let us know in the comments section. Errol thinks maybe a little time on the outside might do Mo Salah good. I think I would agree. Because there's 2 ways of going about this. If you're a manager, Errol, you need to play the player through it and go, listen, I back you. I know how good you are. At some point, I know this is going to turn. But we're 10, 11 games into Mohamed Salah's season now. We haven't really seen that much from him in terms of great games. He's had really good moments still at times. He scored a couple of goals and stuff, but it's been nowhere near the performance level. So, yeah, I suppose that's Arnest's lost decision to make ultimately, and we'll find out in due course, mate, what he does.
Just to end on that as well, in another season and in another version of Mohamed Salah, I'd say just play him through it, because he will find a way to just kick on and he will get better. Where I'm a little bit more on the fence this season and a little bit more undecided is the sheer fact that Liverpool attack now could look very differently. We could change up so many different things in the way that we approach the attack. We could, play with just 2 through the middle and Ekitike and Isak. You could have Wirtz behind him. You could have Szoboszlai behind him. Chiesa potentially could go behind him. You might go a little bit more narrow and hopefully try and introduce maybe not necessarily wing backs, but try and get the full backs up and down a little bit more to create that width for us. And then you can go back to that front 3 after 60 minutes, get Salah on, get Gakpo on, and try and do the things that have worked so well down the years for Liverpool. I'm almost ready to start seeing if there are other ways. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and I think there's more than one ways to win football games. And at this moment in time, we are heavily relying on Mohamed Salah digging himself out of this poor rut of form and just rediscovering some of his best quality again. And I just don't know at his age if he's got that last little bit of a spark in him to be able to do that. So maybe before it's too late and the season is too far gone, if Slot makes a really big decision, but it works in the favour of the betterment of the squad as overall, there is still so much to play for this season that it could just be the magic little switch that Liverpool need to kind of dust themselves off and find a new way. Because right now, the old way and the Mo way is a no way for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do leave that one there by Mo Salah. Let us know what your thoughts in the comment section on Mohamed Salah, maybe what you think of him in terms of the short term and even long term of his future. That was a clip from the Player Ranking Show. If you'd like to check out the show in full in either video or podcast form, simply head to redmenplus.com.